Dave.
Cole, long time.
Yeah, long time, man. Whole year. What?
Are we in the future or in the past? Is this Back to the Future?
No, back to the past, man. You're doing the predictions for what happened last year, right?
All right, now I want 10 for 10. What are the chances? Not very good.
Not impressed. Not impressed. Dave, you put out some predictions for 2025.
I might need a reminder of what those predictions are, though.
I can run you through them. I've got them actually just right over here.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Anything you want to talk about before we get into the predictions?
Yeah, I tried very similar to yourself. I tried to hit different segments of the industry, try to get a little bit of everything. I didn't go with 10, I went with 8.
Okay.
And mine are more macro, I think. Yours were more micro. Micro, and yours had no KPIs, and hopefully mine have KPIs.
Yours don't have KPIs, man. I just did a quick review. I think one of them has KPIs.
That's why feelings are fun, right?
We love
Feels
feelings.
like I got it right.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Let's get into it. What do you think? Should I start with number 1 and work my way to 8, or you want me to start at 8 and work my way to 1?
You're the host this week, so you can pick, man.
We'll do the top-down approach. Number 1. This one has KPIs. Green coffee prices will come down. So in 2024, the C market soared to record highs, surpassing $3.45 per pound. However, futures prices for mid-2025 indicates a potential cooling off, with contracts trending closer to $3. Okay, you'll have to explain to me what that means. Factors like improved growing conditions in Brazil and Colombia and a stronger US dollar are expected to apply downward pressure on prices. Therefore, I anticipate we'll see prices trade down to around $2.75 in the second half of the year. You actually put the KPI right there, Dave.
Yeah, I'm calling my shot, man.
There you go. There is a second paragraph here. Let me just read this. While this decline could ease financial strain for roasters and consumers, it poses challenges for producers, especially smallholder farmers who may find it increasingly difficult to cover production costs. This highlights the ongoing volatility of the coffee market and the need for sustainable pricing models. All right, run me through it, Dave. Why do you think green coffee prices are coming down this year?
Well, you explained it all. That was my whole prediction. So I think we can wrap up that one and go to the next one. I'm just joking, big guy. I'm just joking. Oh, a few things. Lots of people have been talking about, the price of green, the C market, what's going on, how do we navigate? I think it's always, in specialty, it's always kind of hanging around. It's not how we always focus, but when prices either drive way up or way down, then it becomes a big focus. So I thought I would take the first prediction, go after, the C market. I think the C market, things always look worse in the current state than they actually are. So moment to moment, it seems like it's been on a 70% run this year, 2024. It's the run it's been on.
Yeah, started the year at 186, closed the year, looks like 324, 323.
Yeah. So lots of like movement, obviously a hockey stick to the right, and that worries lots of people. The US dollar has also strengthened. So we're a couple of Canadian brothers. We have to take Canadian that's down in the dumps, that dollar into US, and we lose upwards of 30 to 40% just on that transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes things more expensive. You hear people complaining, say, in Australia, other parts of the world where their dollar also is weakened compared to the US dollar. Okay, so all those things are going on right now, but this prediction is the end of 2025. I think we're going to have some changes on production side that's going to increase volume. Okay. We've had some weather patterns in the past in 2024 happen that's caused a decrease in that. We usually see, I'm not a producer. I'm don't know as much as I should, but I assume there's a bumper crop. So a little, years down, then the next year see a little bit increase on production. So I think we'll see that. And then people are just going to have to make, well, if you look at futures, sorry, the last thing I want to mention is futures. So if you go out into right now, this has changed quite a bit since when I made this prediction. So September 25 is now trading at 304. And when I wrote this, it was 275. So it's increased. So I'm not looking so hot right now on my prediction, but I think we're going to see those headwinds that we've been experiencing for the last kind of six to 8 months settle down. And we also overlaying is we have traders coming in and just making quick trades. So when they see something skyrocket, they're coming in, they're day trading, they're seeing some chances to make money, and they have nothing to do with coffee. So I think we've seen a little bit of that pressure, and I think as coffee prices move out of the news, we'll see kind of a nice slow steady drop. Or that's also good and bad for producers. So my second paragraph kind of addresses that, and I don't know. We've talked with producers, on our podcast, and some say it's good, some say it's bad. Again, for different countries and how people sell their coffee or parchment or their product, it's paid and measured against different numbers. So being mindful that we don't want to see it hit rock bottom prices. So I think we'll sit by the end of the year. I think we'll be around 275, and if it's below that, I guess my prediction is right. And if it's above that, you win.
If it's above that, we send you back to the farm, and you get back into doing the heavy labor and lifting there.
Yeah, think of Dave.
Think of Dave. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I think it's an educated decision that you've educated prediction. I think it makes sense. There's many factors at play. Of course, predicting economic price action in any direction in any amount of time is.
You didn't have green prices, so what would your prediction be?
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think green coffee prices are going to come down. Maybe to a similar level that you think, or even lower than that. And I think part of the reason for that is weather is going to be one thing. So, that's, we don't know. But usually a down year is followed by an up year. As long as Brazil doesn't get hit with frosts, I believe we're forecasted for an up year. I think a shift in some government, if the U.S. dollar continues to trend upward, and I think at the moment it's going to continue to trend upward in terms of strength. A lot of producers, if their currency is low, they actually like. So if you think about this, if you're a producer in Colombia and the Colombian peso is very weak, you actually like that, because that means for every dollar you sell your product for, you gain more pesos. And so I think the market can cool off a little bit, and people in producing areas can still win just as much, as long as the day traders or the non-affiliated with industry people that came into this trade, because this was a trade that happened, end up kind of shifting out. As long as we see some stagnation, I think it will be stagnation of the price for a while. Like if you look at the chart for the last month, we've kind of fluttered right at the $3.20, $3.25 range. And I think if we see stagnation there, once news of production in Brazil, Colombia, and some other important producing regions, we'll start to see a price decrease toward maybe June and onward. But
And
we don't,
this is not financial advice.
yeah, we are not financial advice. We're
No, I
just
know you're my brother, man. You're not financial advice.
no,
But this
we're
is
just a
not to
couple
be
of dudes.
taken as taken as financial advice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving, man. I know you're stuck on that one, but we got to go to the second one.
Yeah, awesome. AI powered quality control. This is interesting. Love it or hate it, AI is poised to revolutionize coffee quality control in 2025. Emerging tools for defect identification, roasting optimization, and molecular analysis are leading the way. For example, advanced platforms now use minimal green coffee samples to predict sensory profiles with remarkable precision, providing detailed insights that were once only possible through extensive manual evaluation. AI has the potential to reduce waste, enhance consistency, and boost efficiency across the supply chain. However, it also raises questions about the balance between technological advancements and the irreplaceable artistry of human craftsmanship. Navigating this shift
It's tougher than it looks, eh?
will require a careful integration of both. I didn't know you knew such big words. I'm so curious which AI company has, has got you on their payroll. That's quite the pitch, man.
Yeah, they're paying. They're paying for this whole thing.
Yeah, AI coming for our
Open
job.
AI, they're paying for everything. Sam, I appreciate you. Send that
What
check.
what are you seeing here, Dave?
AI is everywhere in the news right now, so I needed to have my own take on AI.
Yeah,
And
it's Allen Iverson, right?
yeah, the answer. That was his nickname, right?
That was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
AI has always been the answer.
yeah. Except for he never got that championship.
No, that's right.
Yeah, lots in the news. Obviously, it's everywhere. It's touching everything in the world. The news can't get enough of it. But I think where can we use this in our industry? And I didn't want to use any names when talking about it, but there's quite a few different use cases that could go on. So in our roastery, we use an electronic eye to sort through roasted coffee to knock out Quakers, to knock out beans that have chips or spots in it that aren't perfect, and on the green side. So that's a piece of AI that we could call helping us improve our quality. And I think it goes into predictive software, maybe while you're roasting, predictive software that could be in your grinder. We're seeing that with grinders linking to espresso machines. I think you're going to see some, well, we probably already see it, cloud-based technology that's saying, hey, you got 50 stores, 30 of them are on spec for dial or their batch brew, and here's 20 that are not. And those type of things are only going to integrate more into our industry. There's another interesting one. It's green coffee. So you place a green coffee sample. I don't know exactly what's going on. It's saying AI is reading out, what flavors could come out of this coffee, what score could be, where this coffee would be suitable. Is it in a blend, espresso, pour over, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we're just seeing the start of it, and it's going to be everywhere. And it might not be 2025, but I think as time goes on, this type of technology is only going to work its way more and more into our industry. And very similar to baristas and tamping and grinder control and automation of espresso machine, we're seeing that, like, where does craftsmanship take over from automation or AI? And that's something we're going to have to transition through over the next few years of like, where is that fine balance of we've gone too much automation and we've lost like the human touch, or where is it helping us so we can create more moments, more connection between the barista or the client and the service that's going on in a cafe. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I think we're in the age of automation, the age of digital everything, and we need to embrace these different use cases, these different functions that are coming into the market. We've explored a few of them. Like I had some calls with the green sample analysis company. That there's two different ones that I know, and the challenge with a lot of AI systems is they need to be trained. So at least my understanding, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm definitely not an expert in the field of AI.
no,
I
man,
know
you're wrong.
I know a lot
You're
about Allen
you're
Iverson. I
wrong.
don't know a lot about artificial intelligence. Uh, you have to educate these systems and create models to become predictive. They don't know things immediately, right? And so the more we use them, the smarter they get. And I think there's so many use cases in coffee. Like you've got roast optimization here. Why do we? I know why we do this. It's a rhetorical question, but why do we still manually build roast profiles? Why don't we take 3 to 5 different data measure points, plug that into an AI solution, and have that predict the ideal roasting curve to properly develop a coffee and you know try to hit certain goals, KPIs on the outside. And then we run that profile one time, we tell it what happened, and then it says, oh, okay, let me just shift this calibration, shift that calibration, and try again. And it's still user operated. I still have a job in that system, but the efficiency in which I can act and create becomes so much greater. And I think the same for quality control. I think the same for maybe farm management, predicting what sort of yield or crop I will take from this section of the farm based on these parameters through the year. And I think there's a lot that we can do with AI. I just spoke to a roaster. He has a coffee shop in Japan. He's got a coffee shop and roastery. He comes from a tech background, has had his company for about a year in coffee, and he's created an AI generative predictor that you need to fill out a few elements, and then it will predict a coffee for you based on sort of the question and answer, and will go as far as telling the barista the type of recipe that you would like. So maybe a longer extraction yield, shorter extraction yield, that sort of thing, which I thought was interesting, very specific use case. I can't wait for our podcast to be AI.
It already is. All those ads we do. Oh, wait.
I mean this part.
Oh, the banter.
Yeah, the banter.
Well, we're not.
We're not going to be there. It's fine. 2026.
What? Just go to number 3. Come on, man. Stay focused.
Specialty coffee, grab and go. Grab and go in quotes. 2025 will see the rise of small footprint, high volume coffee shops designed for speed and convenience over artisanal craftsmanship. Think tiny urban kiosks or streamlined service stations offering fast, reliable coffee for busy commuters. This trend reflects the growing demand for convenience, but it also challenges specialty coffee's emphasis on craft and quality. Interesting.
I think this one we wrote in our newsletter this week, so January 14th, about Luckin, and that's, I think, where this was coming from. We spent some time in Shanghai and in China, and there is a lot, not only Luckin, but there's a lot of competitors that are 300 to 600 square feet or 30 to 60 square meters, very small, tight, compact stores, and they will literally be side by side. It's crazy that they would sign those leases, but there'll be 2 competitors, both coffee shops, and diving into using apps to order. It's all about convenience. It's all about speed of service. And we're seeing that model now move outside, I think, of China, where people, Starbucks in the States, they'll put these on like the 15th floor, and it's like 100 square feet. And all you do is just pick up, you order in the office tower that's 70 floors. And now, we're talking about AI and drones and delivery and all those things. It's just getting all streamlined. So I think specialty coffee is going to have to contend with these players that come in. They can open up very quickly for a small amount of dollars. And if they're an international brand, they can be doing, well, Luckin's doing 8 stores a day. Just think of the logistics behind that. So this is their style. And I think we're going to see more and more of this style of cafe instead of maybe in the past years, 2,000 square foot or 200 square meters, big cafes, big spaces. I think we're going more micro than more macro on the cafe space. I'm not saying that that's better. I'm just saying that's where more cafes are going to be in that subsection of size.
Right. Which is somewhat contrary to one of the speculations that I had, where cafes are going to become more homey, cozy, comfortable places that you would make the outing and bring friends or family.
I think both things can be true. Like your prediction's not very good, but yours could be true.
You're so supportive, Dave.
Oh, I mean, here, let me do another take.
I think from my side, it's more like hyper specialty focused, where I think this is maybe baseline specialty, high conventional,
Yes,
and scalable type business, where I'm talking more not necessarily neighborhood coffee shop, but more.
No, you're talking about a single operator. They run the store in their local community, and the look and feel of that cafe is changing. Where
Yeah.
I'm saying the hyperscalers, the big boys they're all going to this model where it's like smaller square foot, they have lower rent costs, they can open multiple of those at one time, and if one doesn't do so well, to close it,
There's no emotion.
there's no emotion, there's no feelings,
Just facts.
just facts,
Just
baby.
my P&L statement.
You're just A12 on my Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a fascinating model, and it's incredible to witness the scale and the all gas no brakes type of mentality that these brands are undergoing. And we have a post about Luckin this week in the newsletter, but there's numerous of them, and they're not just in China. They're mostly Southeast Asia or Asia, Eastern Asia, and they're just fascinating, like full throttle.
You're seeing it in India, Indonesia, you're
That's right,
seeing
India
it
as
in
well.
Korea, like so many places where it's like a company that's 2 years old and they have 400 stores.
Yeah.
Where they're 6 years old and they have 6,000 stores. It's just the pace that they're opening at is unreal, and I think it's because of those small, tight, and the app connecting in. They're not the third place. They're a place to consume caffeine or coffee or.
Right. And in a way, your second point about AI and your third point, I think, kind of come together, because the grab and go is not achievable without the technology behind it. Realistically,
Yep.
these are tech companies that serve coffee. They are not coffee shops that have technological advancements. They're tech companies first that are providing a convenient, easy to use platform that will get a product from A to B. Doesn't have to be coffee, but in this case, it is. They will get it from A to B faster than their competitor, and at a probably lower price is the goal.
I think of Pizza Hut
Yes.
is a good example, as they are now a technology company. They are not a pizza company.
Right.
And for all intents and purposes, you hear it. Oh, Pizza Hut, you grab a slice or full pizza, but it's like so much technology has gone into where they open their locations, who's using the app, how often they're ordering, what's the smallest retail space they can take. And if you ask their CEO, he's like, yeah, we're a technology company first that just happens to sell pizza.
Yeah.
Plus, you're a big fan of their pizza, I heard.
Oh, man.
Okay, next one. Let's go. Let's keep going here, big guy. I know you're yawning. I know it's been a long day. It's what, 11 a.m.
Did you know Pizza Hut was the largest buyer of kale before people realized that kale was a superfood and they used to use it as a garnish or as a decoration in their buffets when they used to have the Pizza Hut buffet in the 90s?
Did you just look that up?
No, I just know that fact, Dave, because I know facts. It's AI generated, actually.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I know that.
That's a good fact.
Fun
Nice
fact.
factoid.
Nice factoid. Number 4, home brewing gets more competitive. The home brewing boom that began during the pandemic shows no signs of slowing down as inflation makes cafe visits more expensive and high quality brewing equipment becomes increasingly affordable. Coffee enthusiasts are turning their kitchens into cafe worthy spaces, with coffee influencers showcasing aspirational setups and techniques. The trend is set to keep growing, elevating the at home coffee experience to new heights. Factor story, Dave. Tell me.
This is a little storytelling,
Yeah, it's
but
not measurable.
no, it's not measurable whatsoever. And that's why it's in here. Because
Okay,
I'm going to get this one right.
Why is home brewing getting more competitive?
I think it's getting more competitive. You see the big players releasing cheaper and cheaper machines to get more and more people into this segment of the industry. You're seeing like pretty decent machines. I don't know what they are in US, like between $400 and $600 Canadian. So 200 American dollars.
Yeah.
And that brings more people into the industry, which is good for us. I think on top of that, home brewing, as you go to the cafe and is more expensive, as you go to the cafe, it becomes more expensive. Inflation's pushed all the prices up. A bag of coffee, you can have the world's best coffee. You buy a retail bag of that. It's the affordable luxury. And brewing that at home, you can also take as much or as little care of that process that you want. So I'm a home brewer. I can control the whole aspect of brewing coffee at home versus I go to a cafe and I pay $20 for a cup of coffee. I might not get a barista who's worried about every single little detail. They might be chatting with someone else. They have to worry about the line. They got to be doing the dishes, whatever else, while they're doing that pour over or drink for myself. So I think it's as consumers' choice. Hang in there, big guy.
I need to brew a home coffee here, man.
You're falling apart. It's in the morning. I'm supposed to be tired. It's 8 p.m. here.
Yeah, you got me up at 6 for my first meeting today. Okay, keep going. I'm intrigued by your home brewing.
No, you're not. You're falling asleep, just like the listeners.
Actually, putting me to sleep. Okay.
Yeah, I think we bring more people in. I think also layering on top of all of this is the rise of like the home barista influencer. Like since COVID or since 2020, they have made every home tool, every espresso machine, every review, every grinder review out there. They've made it look sexy, exciting. I can do it. Anyone can do it, and that is making the home market bigger, which when the market gets bigger, there's more people who are going to compete for that. So I think we're going to continue to see more and more people come into the home brewing industry, and we're going to see more companies fight for those clients. And I think that's good. We're a roaster. That's good for us. Maybe changes some of the transactions to go on, but I think people brewing coffee at home is a nice positive thing.
I think it's good for cafes too. If you just heard if you're a roaster, it's good for us. I think it's positive for you too. Maybe just change your approach and put a little bit more on the retail shelf in terms of offerings of coffee, have some selections, try different bags, maybe different roasters, and try to educate. If you can be the one to educate somebody to brew better coffee at home, there will be a loyalty that always exists in that person toward your establishment. So if you can share education in a very like inclusive, easy way for people to digest, not preach to them if they don't want to hear about it, but make it accessible, then you could really win on the front of this movement. There's definitely more people brewing at home. It does save money. Arguably, it's going to be, if you know your stuff, arguably you can make a better cup in your house because you can control all the variables. You can be way more precise, and you don't have distractions, and oh, the timer went off, and oh, I gotta stop this espresso. Oh, I gotta, yeah, hello, how are you? There's not the distractions of the coffee shop, and there can be a hyper focus on brewing a cup of coffee at home. And it's a nice ritual. If you don't do it right now, it's a nice ritual, and it's a nice little practice to have.
No, there is something nice when someone else brews a coffee for you. It does taste, if all things are the same, it does taste a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there is something very nice about that, unless they brew it wrong.
Well, brew better, big guy.
Brew better. Blends are back. Number 5, blends are back. Did blends ever really leave? No, no, not really. Way to contradict your thing right off the hop there, Dave. In 2025, blends will continue to shine in coffee competitions and cafes alike. They offer an avenue for innovation and cost control, allowing roasters to create signature offerings that resonate with customers while managing fluctuating green coffee costs. Blends provide an opportunity for roasters to stand out and foster customer loyalty. What are you seeing here, Dave?
This is a bit of a cheap one. I gotta admit it. Blends never really left us, and you can't measure this whatsoever. So this one is correct already. Okay, that's the response I want. Thanks, appreciate that.
What about let's chat about it for a second. I think blends have always sort of had the spot on most roasters' menu as the bottom tier, right? They're usually, generally speaking, in a roastery, blends are the number one volume consumption. So production is number one. The number one selling SKU, the number one selling product. But often they're the lower tier on a menu. Can we maybe look and predict that we'll see some higher end, higher scale blends? Blends today, I'll go a little bit further. Blends today at almost every coffee shop that offers a blend is going to be somewhere between 20 and 70% Brazil, which is usually because it's chocolatey, nutty, classic flavor profiles. And then it's often the best value play in the market for buying product, right? And then the other remaining elements, there will be, let's say, 1 to 3 other elements. And likely it's going to be an Ethiopian or a Colombian coffee making up one of the other 2 elements, if not both. Maybe a Guatemalan. Like the blends are almost always large production, lower price point, more. I don't want to say boring. I don't think that's fair.
No, it's creating consistent product
Yes.
for the barista and the consumer to like consume.
Yes.
So they're trying to hit a profile that'll be here all year round. I yes, I was going in that direction, and maybe I didn't express myself very well on this. I was also saying blends in competitions, Brewers Cup for a long
Yeah.
time. It was, very much one coffee. And now we're seeing a lot of competitors using blends, which is, I think, a great thing. It's architecting a special experience for you only through that blend, which is great.
Right.
I think cafes could leverage that. I think it's harder to get away from the everyday coffee into, you've done a lot of events over the last year, and usually at those events when we're doing a pop-up is you'll create a blend for that, and you'll have two, whatever Panama geishas, and that's like usually the most ordered coffee because it's something unique that's only going to go on there. Now,
Yeah.
part of that reasoning it does so well is you're able to talk about why you created this blend. You're able to story tell, why these two coffees will work well together. You're able to like help the consumer pick that or try something that will never be done anywhere else. So I think at the cafe setting, blends will always be a staple of everything you've just described. And I think blends are trending in the right way of like, oh, can we find new ways to upgrade this? I think Kyle and Lem at Black and White have done a great job of like creating, they got the future blend. I don't know if they call it a blend, but it's like two coffees that are very, very funky, and putting those together, trying to create like conversation, interesting, flavors through this blend. So maybe we'll see more of that, but yeah, my mind was more about like competitions, and the signature, right? You can only get this flavor, like Two Wheel for us is like, it's a signature blend for us at Rosso, and people come in and they only want that coffee because it means something that has a flavor profile where it's like slight acidity. It's like, some sweetness, like deep sweetness in it. And they understand what that profile and what to come in to expect.
Right. I think blends in a way provide identity for roasters, but a lot of specialty roasters have moved away from blends because blends often end up being the cheaper, lesser
Yes.
quality outlet for roasters as well. So there's kind of this duality where it's a beautiful thing to have a blend, but then on the flip side, the blend is the lowest cost of production, or however you want to
It's
say
the
that.
margin maker.
It's the margin maker. It pays the bills. It pays for the team, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to see more high end blends. We did a little bit of playing in 2023, I guess, where we were doing blends of different coffees where we were blending in the bag, which was a huge pain in the ass to pack, but we were blending, I think there were 250-gram bags, and they would be maybe 3-4 different coffees that would get blended in the bag. So we know the exact proportions of each, and you're guaranteed, it's a 60% of this geisha, 10% of this other geisha, and 30% of churroso, whatever. I'm making up random things, but uh, tried playing with some higher end blends. It saw a lot of traction. It just was a nightmare for us on the packing side, and couldn't quite
Yeah.
justify it. But I'd love to see blends get
Meet in the
reinvented.
middle. I think we need to meet in the middle and
Yeah,
have just not make a blend just kind of this low end margin maker. And how can we kind of spin new ideas on blends? So
yeah. Let's make blends great again, and let's look to push the bottom line of quality up that go into the blends, and not just use them as an outlet in the roasters. Blends are back, baby. 2025.
good pick. Good pick.
Good. And different ways of blending. We need to introduce some different ways of blending. There's lots of different techniques. Like I just mentioned, you could blend in the bag, you can blend in the tray or in the mixer or whatever. The challenge with blending in the mixer is you don't guarantee the blend that lands in the bag.
Or you mix it pre. You got pre, post.
Yeah,
So a few different ways.
a few different ways. Let's see what we can do this year, people. Number 6, more inclusivity in coffee competitions. Coffee competitions are opening doors to more diverse participants with new formats and resources, making them more accessible globally. Events like Crush the Rush, Roast Masters, Barista League, April Cup, and many other events have brought fresh energy to the competition scene. These formats range from engaging home brewers to celebrating coffee professionals across different specialties, making competitions more approachable and diverse. As inclusivity grows, the coffee community becomes richer, more dynamic, and more connected. I assume by richer you mean celebrating each other more,
Yeah,
not
not money, man.
not more financially.
Oh,
So
maybe
maybe, maybe.
that'd
Tell
be
me
that'd be a
what do you
nice.
see here, Dave?
Yeah, this one's more feelings than fact.
Okay.
I think we focus obviously quite a bit on, the World Barista Championship and World Brewers Cup and that segment, but there's so many more competitions now than when we first started in our competition career in 2010, and I think that's uh, awesome because that means there's different entry points and different people's passion within coffee can kind of be unlocked. You know, I'm I get nervous presenting. I might not want to present in front of people, so I could choose something like AeroPress, and
Yeah.
I can just go up, brew a coffee. That helps me get excited to be on stage. I'm not as nervous. I can win something. I can advance my career through these competitions. So I think the more formats there is, the better it is for everyone in our industry. I don't think it dilutes, at least not yet. It hasn't diluted competitions. I think there's people focusing on different parts in different competitions and which one excites them the most. People that are in Bristol League might not care about April Cup or whatever, and vice versa, and that's cool. And it's neat to see also people putting that, like you see it on Instagram. They're putting it in their bio. I
Right.
won April Cup, or I won the Ford Lottery. Sixth edition or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think just more and more of these things is better and professionalizes our industry. We have more fun. It's helped our career massively, and just seeing also the financial things associated with, like, especially barista competition can be quite restrictive for some people. So there's other competitions that are low cost or no barriers to enter, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think more competition isn't about us, fighting each other. It's about celebrating each other. And in the world of coffee, I think these styles of competitions that are more casual, more laid back, easy-going entry is available for anybody that wants to participate. Usually it's like a pay to play type of thing. So you maybe have to pay an entry fee or whatnot, and then you have a prize on the other side. I think there's so many people that have found their way into the industry through success in one of these competitions. And you mentioned the Forward Lottery, and that was a roasting competition that we ran through Forward. I think we got 13 seasons into it. Uh, there was a roaster who won. I don't remember what season. It doesn't really matter, but they reached out to me maybe a year and a half later saying, "Hey, I just want to say thank you for putting on this competition. I was a home roaster, and because of my success in the Forward Lottery, I was able to put that on my CV, and I was able to make the decision that I would like to be in the industry." And that person is still an active member of the industry today. They're a working roaster and doing production, and that it's a very small, zoomed in example of the power of these competitions. The platform gives people the opportunity to rise up and realize that coffee is an incredible vehicle, and that it's got a place for you, it's got a place for me, it's got a place for anybody who wants to participate, regardless of where you come from. And I'm pro competitions, support the competitions, but don't
I
look at
also
it like
noticed
knock
big
others.
guy.
Yeah.
No, it's got about building each other up.
Yes.
And
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about building each other up,
Yeah.
Barista League is in Montreal this year. And
Yeah.
I thought
You and me.
you and me, we could be on the ones and twos. We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
And if we come last place, that's okay.
It's the greatest thing that we'll ever do. When is it?
I can't remember. I think it's late fall.
Late fall. Okay. I'm interested. If you'll do it, Dave.
You're going to do it?
Yeah.
I can count on you?
Yeah. If you're in, I'm in.
I don't know the last time you made an espresso was, man.
Yesterday.
The last time I made espresso, 20 in, 30 grams out. It's called a boomer shot.
Unbelievable. Won the World Barista Championship.
No, it sure didn't. All right. Next prediction. Come on.
All right. Here we go. Hybrid coffee shops. Cafes are becoming multi-functional spaces, combining coffee with co-working, retail, and events. These hybrid models create diversified revenue streams, making cafes more resilient to economic fluctuations. Success will hinge on finding the right balance between coffee service and additional offerings. Okay, so we're doing grab-and-go coffee shops and hybrid coffee shops in your prediction.
I'm going twice, man.
Spray and pray, man. Spray and pray.
See, I was on yours and then I was on mine.
Okay, tell me about these hybrid coffee shops. You opening the next WeWork?
Absolutely not. I think what this is referring to is we struggle with this, is identifying something other than a coffee shop. And I think a lot of places have got this figured out, where you might go in for a coffee in the morning and then at night it turns into a wine bar, or I don't know, a jazz speakeasy or something like that. So it's not just a coffee shop, and kind of maybe they're doing pop-ups at night, or maybe that's like a secondary, revenue source, as it turns into the jazz place, or they're doing wine. I think we're seeing more of this when we travel than definitely back home. But I think as inflation, it's harder for cafes to make money. There's like lots of pressures on them, and they got to find other creative ways to like drive in new customers, drive in revenue. And I think being more than one thing to people is important. Being more than a coffee shop helps ease that. Now, it's a very fine balance between,
Defining your business.
Yes, and then all of a sudden you're doing pizzas because that's the trendy food right now, and then you got coffee in the morning, and at night you got, I don't know, hookahs or something.
Hookah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a big hookah guy, so I thought hookahs.
It's, we pay rent 24 hours a day.
Fuck, that might be your best take.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we pay rent 24 hours a day. What's the rest?
We sell coffee, like in our market, we sell coffee for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, right? And how can we don't need to be open 24 hours and active in the space all the time, just because we, theoretically pay rent 24 hours a day. But how can you offset or spread revenue across the full day, rather than in our model, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., here's our peak revenue. Okay, it carries into lunch, and then after lunch it starts to fall down, and then after 3 p.m. it's just about falling to zero, and then we close at 5.
Or other markets like Australia, they're doing 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So it's like, what are you doing
with the
from
rest of
2 p.m. to 10 p.m.? And not so much, the baristas, but what's the business doing? And is there something else they could do? So I think, or maybe it's like more retail. So we've been into a couple coffee shops and they got, records for sale.
Right.
And then they got, t-shirts or, cool shoes or whatever it is. It's kind of this multi retail space that that used to be a coffee shop and now is transformed. I don't know how we measure this. This is
Yeah, dude, I don't think any of yours have KPIs. You gave me some grief for not having KPIs.
no. I got the first one
And
definitely, and the eighth one,
yeah,
and that's two more than you had. So roll the credits.
I'm not so sure. Anything else on hybrid coffee shops?
Well, I'm excited to talk about this next one. So let's keep going here.
I have one on a hybrid coffee shop. Personally, I think the best model would be coffee shop, ice cream.
I was going to say the exact same thing,
We both
but I was going to say ice cream, coffee shop.
Yeah, whichever order you want to do it, dude. Doesn't matter to me as long as there's ice cream and coffee. You hit the morning crowd.
Okay.
You hit the lunch crowd.
Like a quick scoop at like 8 or 9 a.m.
Yeah, fuck, man. Why not? I would. Pardon my language.
Yeah, don't need.
Yeah, I would have an ice cream at 9 a.m. Sure. You got a thing of check this out. You got a thing of oatmeal, granola. Do steamed milk, so warmed milk that's textured off the espresso machine, and then a scoop of ice cream, small little scoop of ice cream. Put that into the granola. Pour the warm milk on top. You've got
And that's a 2,000 calorie breakfast.
Yeah, whatever, man. That's not the point. It's a $2,000 day. Is what that is.
That's a $2,000 morning.
That's a great business model. Somebody please try that. A small scoop of ice cream, warmed steamed milk, textured milk, and granola. Would that not be dynamite? I think that would be
I thought you were off seed oils.
Whatever. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay, let's go. Number 8.
Okay, number 8, more by the drip content. In 2025, we are going all in on content creation with a goal to deliver 52 newsletters. Dude, that's way too much work. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't consult Cole on this last one. Actually, I didn't consult him on any, but this one I was hoping you'd be pissed off.
52 newsletters, 40 podcast episodes, and 40 YouTube videos. That is 132 collective pieces of content creation, Dave.
Let's go.
It's a big push. It means stepping past self-doubt. There it is. You knew I was going to have self-doubt. And fully embracing the creative process. Our mission is to share insights, stories, and ideas that inspire, giving back to the coffee community as our way of contributing to an industry that has given us so much. Like the
subscribe.
No, like the granola ice cream steamed milk play. Somebody put that on your menu. Come on, man. That's what I'm giving to the industry this year.
Oh, I see. You're giving back with that recipe.
Yeah. It's going to be game changing.
Yeah, that'll change your life with diabetes.
I'm still in the hybrid coffee shops, man.
Okay, we're off that, man. We're on our content. Okay, well, I wanted to put this out there because the podcast kind of ebbs and flows. The time difference is really hard. Cole's 15 hours ahead. So the only time we can kind of connect is at the very start of his day or at the very end of mine. So podcast is, hopefully we're connecting, seeing each other in 2 weeks here, get back into rhythm as we're on the same rhythm or whatever.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests that are lined up. We've got some pretty exciting names that will be doing interviews that'll be very educational. They should be very insightful. We'll deep dive on different subjects. We'll get a pretty vast collection of talent, let's say, that's going to make cameos on the podcast. And so I think 40 episodes is definitely a lot to put out there for the year, but we can do it. And realistically, I think it's possible to do a weekly podcast release and get like fully into that schedule. See that? I changed my tone very quickly.
Yeah, nice. More positive.
Dreaming of ice cream. 40 YouTube videos. We've got some fun new content. Dave's written written the parameters for the Guess the Drip. So a new content style that will be sharing a cup of coffee with different people that will be industry, non-industry, different sectors of coffee consumption, and we'll see if they can guess what the coffee is. It's a very challenging game. The goal of this style of content is to show people, remind people how hard coffee truly is. And even though we've come a long way, we've got a long way to go in the education, the sophistication, the understanding, the language, all of that goes into it. So first style of that just went live with our buddy Taylor, longtime listener.
He finally made it.
Finally,
I think we got some content pillars that we're going to start releasing more of, and I think anytime we're kind of doing content, it's hard. At least for me, I won't speak for yourself, Cole, but you kind of have that self-doubt, and it feels weird to think that your voice is important and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know when people listen or don't listen, or do they care? Who knows? So we've been doing this, well, I guess 21 weeks now. And we built like a nice little following. I think if you've made it this far into the podcast, if you could, pass this on to like one friend or a coworker or someone who loves coffee, that would help us a lot, because every single person who listens or watches the podcast or any of our content on YouTube or our newsletter helps us make more content. Yeah. And it becomes easier and easier. And it's that nice flywheel effect of, if we get the feedback from people listening and we see the numbers go up, we'll do more. And so it helps, share it with a friend. I don't know. I was waiting for
you a link, Dave.
Yeah, subscribe. Should I subscribe now or should I wait?
Yeah. No, I think exciting things coming through the By the Drip channel, and our goal is just to share about coffee. We're both coffee lovers at the end of the day, and we've been a long time in the industry, and just sharing our history and our insights and conversing with different stakeholders in the industry, friends, and getting them to share their perspectives from around the world. So different coffee consumers, professionals, lovers around the world can better understand what's going on beyond their geographical area, in the different realms that maybe they're not conscious of or participating in and on a day-to-day basis. And we can kind of share the wonders of coffee, because it is such a deep, vast network of different industries, realistically, that all funnel into the world of coffee. There's just so many different touch points, so many different perspectives, impressions, participants, that there's so much content we can put out there, and we'll do our best to share that. If you are still listening to this, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh man.
If you are and you have any feedback or have any suggestion, and you have been listening to our podcast or you've been reading our newsletter, please, we love feedback, and we don't get as much as maybe we wish to. We would love more feedback. We'd love to know what were the top, what were the bottom in terms of content we put out last year. How can we look to improve? What would you like to hear about? what can we zoom in on, all of that sort of stuff. Do you like Dave's new microphone? He's trying a new microphone. Anything in terms of feedback is very, very much appreciated. So please feel free to share that. We are open and not going to respond with negative energy toward feedback. We're very positive and receptive of feedback.
No, we appreciate the feedback. So anything you got out there, send it, DM us, send us an email at dc@bythedrip.coffee, or leave a comment below. Yeah, we appreciate. Cole, we gotta end this. And the people have spoken. So on your predictions, 58% of people said you are going to get 5 of the 10 correct or more.
Okay, tell me, how many on yours?
72%.
Wow.
Why are you not excited?
Well.
What do you mean, well?
Well. 72%.
Well, what? Yeah, 72.73%. Now, I had way less people vote on mine than yours, but we don't need to get into those numbers. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, 2 people voted.
Interesting. And you had the AI software, did you?
Yeah, the AI pumped the numbers for me. I appreciate it. Maybe on the views on this video too.
Okay, team, thanks for listening. 2025, here we come.
Let's go. Have a
Over
great 2025. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.